Okay, so this is Ringwalk Media. We're over in Dublin. We've managed to find a legend, Robert Diaz. It's fantastic to see you, sir.
Thank you so much. I'm really excited. Catch my first time in Dublin.
Really? First time?
First time in Ireland, Dublin, of course. Excited about being here. Got here before the first fight because I want to see from top to bottom, from bottom up.
Well, listen, it's a fantastic card, and what a superb, purpose-built venue. Only two in the world. And just tell us a little bit about the card, because it is fabulous to have boxing back here.
It is. It is. I'm excited for the fans, for the fighters. I mean, there was a time period where there was no boxing, and this is something that it's in the blood. The Irish are fighters, are warriors, and it's great to see it back. I'm excited to see some of the kids on the card, like Barry's kids, Liam, and his other kid making his pro debut, Sullivan, with no relation to Spike. I sent all my best to Spike. And, of course, the return of Jason Quigley. This is a kid that I saw from his pro debut throughout his whole professional career. And it's very special for me to be here because it's his first time fighting as a pro home and fighting where it started, back here in this beautiful arena. So I'm excited, and we're going to have some great fights.
I think actually there's a stat. I think it's 10 years to the day that he made his debut.
Wow, that is great. I didn't know that. That is incredible.
So he's pleased to be back here and see everybody. We saw Jason about 3-4 weeks ago. He was training hard. He just could not believe he was able to come back here and box.
I think it's a dream come true. I was speaking to him yesterday, and he said he always had that in the back of his mind. Obviously, under different circumstances, said, I'll become a world champion one day. My defense is going to be back home. Didn't work out, not yet. The story's not over. This is just the beginning of a new chapter.
And Jason's got one of his young fighters on here, Brett McGinty. I think he's a couple of fights from the end, of course, managed by Ricky Hatton, who will also be here. So we'll have two legends in the house this evening. Brett's a really good, hard fighter, and it's great to see Jason helping the youngsters.
You know, Jason always had something different about him. I think the love of the sport, knowing the sport, being in the ring, he's going to be very beneficial for boxing even after he retires, because he can tell fighters what to look for, what to avoid, and how to do the right thing.
And, of course, Brett's trained by Ricky Hatton, another legend that you're very, very aware of.
Yes, absolutely. It's going to be great to not only obviously see Jason back in the ring, but see a good old friend of mine from many years, the Hitman.
Indeed. Now, listen, you've obviously left Golden Boy now, a little bit of time out. Tell us what you've been doing and what your plans are.
You know, I've been taking it slow, enjoying, really thinking it over. What is it that I want to do? There was a moment that maybe just walk away from boxing, but boxing's in my blood. It's like that, a good drug. It brings you back in, and I think I'm going to start working with fighters directly. You know, now I've worked with fighters in the past, Marco Antonio Barrera. I worked with the promotional side. Now it's going to be more of advising some of these young fighters and managers and helping them to achieve their dreams. I love the sport, but the part I love the most is making those dreams come true. Seeing the young man turn pro 4 rounds to winning a world title and accomplishing that dream.
And you know what? That's it doesn't happen that often now. You know, these young fighters, they go 3, 4, 5 fights, and all of a sudden the companies just, the promoters don't give them that opportunity. So it's lovely to hear that you're going to sort of join that journey for some of these young guys.
Yes, I think that's whenever a young fighter steps into the gym for the first time, they're not thinking about making money. They're thinking about winning a world title and being a champion and being a role model. Along the line, the progress, it changes. But what doesn't change is that first time they get that hand raised after winning a world title, all that time, all those years, all that sacrifice, all the blood, sweat, and tears makes you sit back and enjoy.
Now listen, you just mentioned there Marco Antonio Barrera. Of course, Ricky Hatton had an exhibition with him back in October in the Manchester Arena, packed out Manchester Arena. How good was it to see those in the ring?
I mean, it brings back memories. I enjoy it when it's how they did it in an exhibition. I enjoy it when it's like that because they know they're a shadow of what they used to be. They'd be lying to themselves if they thought it could go into a different level.
I tell you what, they were tasty in there, though.
I think I've heard already that Ricky tried to pour it on a little bit, so Marco had to put in some moves. So, but that's the fighter spirit in them. That's who they are. But I love to see it when it's an exhibition of a former world champion against a former world champion. When it's boxing against boxing, and I'm sorry, but I don't like the boxer against the YouTuber or for show only.
Well, listen, it's going to be an absolutely cracking card here this evening. And like you said, there's a couple of guys making their debuts. Which one in particular are you looking forward to?
Walsh, I'm really looking forward to seeing him. I've heard a lot of good things about his younger brother. And now to see the older brother motivated and said, hey, you know what, I want to try get a crack at this as well. It's exciting. I love seeing pro debuts because it's such an important fight when you do your debut. It could go this or that, and we could see a world champion one day, and you say, I was there for his pro debut. Like AJ, who fights tonight, I was there for his pro debut because I had Yoandri Salinas on the undercard. And to see that development, that's the part of the beauty of boxing.
You nicked my next question, actually, because I was going to ask you about the AJ fight. Of course, he's in a few hours taking on Jermaine Franklin over at Wembley. How do you see that going? It's a make or break for AJ, this fight?
It's a very important fight because, yes, back-to-back losses can be, whether he becomes an opponent or he retires. I don't see that happening. I see him shining. I think he's going to be motivated. He knows his back's against the wall. That's going to make him more dangerous. Franklin, we've seen that he is a tough fighter. He belongs in that ring with AJ. He's earned it. I think he should have won his last fight. But I think we're going to see AJ look better than ever. And I think I'm picking AJ in 9 rounds.
And of course, Mr. Fury has decided not to fight Mr. Usyk, or the other way around, whoever you want to believe. If AJ comes through this, surely there's got to be a shot at that fight.
You know, the biggest fight, not only in Britain and in Europe, but AJ and Fury, regardless of, and no disrespect, Usyk has earned it. He beat AJ twice, but AJ and Wilder, or AJ and Fury, those can't miss. 2 giants, 2 big bangers, and they're fighting for Britain.
Listen, Roberto, it's so good to see you still in boxing. You're a man of many, many talents and an awful lot of experience that you're going to be able to pass over to so many more boxers, and they're going to benefit from you being in the sport. So please don't ever think about leaving this sport. It's been a privilege to speak to you today, and we really hope that you enjoy the evening. It's been a pleasure to speak to you, my friend.
Thank you so much for those kind words, and yes, that motivates me. I got a lot of messages, a lot of support. Boxing is in my blood. I'm going to stick to it, and I just want to wish everybody a great night, all the fighters, all the best tonight, and send a good big hug to my big friend, Paul Speak.
He'll be very, very happy about that. Roberto, thank you very much for the interview, and we wish you a very good evening.
Thanks, pal. Appreciate it.